Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today in deck number 529, we're going to start Theros Beyond Death, and we're going to do it with Heliod the Sun Crown. Now we have 27 legends in this set, and hopefully over the next 27 days, I will get them all done. As of right now, I don't have them all done, I don't even have them all. So we will see. I'm pretty far ahead, so let's go. Now, we all saw this guy, and we know he's infinite with the several cards, but, you know, it takes more than that to build a deck. So we've got, let's read him and see what we're going to do. 3 mana 5/5, indestructible. Of course, he's got the Dev 5 clause. But whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. That way you can put it on him. If he's not a creature yet. And then for 2 mana, you give another creature lifelink. Now, so this speaks to two things. This speaks to life gain and +1/+1 counters, which in mono white are very kind of tied together in a lot of places. So that was the kind of the route that I went. Now, first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and get it out of the way. I don't own another Walking Ballista, but I do have plenty of Triskelions. You give the Triskelion lifelink, and then it's infinite damage. Yeah. Everybody knows it. We're going to do it as soon as they see Heliod in the command zone. So, and it does go with the theme of +1/+1 counter. So, but like I said, that's one card out of 99. So we've got to have the rest of the deck, right? So Cradle of Vitality. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2 to put a 1/1 counter on target creature for each 1 life you gain. So if you gain 4, you can spend 2 to get 4 counters. So that's the beautiful part there. Let's see what else we got here. We have... Oh, here, this is fun. This little package. Now, I run across the Copperleaf Angel. Now, the Copperleaf Angel doesn't see a whole lot of play because that ability is bonkers, okay? Not bonkers good. It's really, really bad. So, 5 mana, 2/2 flyer. That requires me to sack lands to make her bigger. What? But you do sack the lands to get the +1/+1 counter. So, I don't know. So, the first thing I thought about with Copperleaf Angel was, well, Planar Birth, I can get all those basic lands back. We're playing mono white, so most of them are basic anyway, right? And I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, if I've already got those two, I might as well have Azuran Orb, because here again, it's life gain, and I can get counters and all that junk. Reaping the Rewards is almost the same card as Azuran Orb. You know, sack a land, gain 2 life, essentially, but it's 1 mana. And then Pegasus Stampede to get flyers, you know, it's whatever. So, let's get into +1/+1 counter shenaniganery, shall we? We have, there's in no particular order here, we have Gleam of Authority. Enchanted creature gets 1/1 for each 1/1 counter on other creatures you control. This is a heck of a card, you know. And tap to bolster, why not? We have Loxodon Life Chanter. Okay, this one's weird. 6 mana 4/6, Elephant. It's going to be an elephant tribal since we get a commander for it. There is one that's really good right now, the Savala, but I've already used Savala, so anyway. You may have your life total become the total toughnesses of creatures you control. Okay. But it plays around with the life total, and that's why it's in there. It's going to be a big body. We have Sin's Tactician. Just... it says each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. More than likely, that's going to be each creature you control can block an additional creature. The Bondkin... all your 1/1 countered creatures have first strike. Your Abzan Falconer, wow, they all have flying now. That's pretty good. A Johnny's Pride Mate fits right in there. I mean, now keep in mind that's not a May ability anymore. It's a have to. That's a thing that we do. But it's gain life, put counters. Now, there's a... Okay. Go with me on this, all right? Because it's a stretch. Arcbound Stinger. The modular creatures, right? So they come into play with 1/1 counters on them. Now, the modular ones, when they die, you can move the counters around. Okay. So we've got Arcbound Slith. Deals damage, it gets a counter. Now, the Clockwork, not the old Clockwork stuff from like ABUR, but the newer Clockwork actually uses 1/1 counters. The older one uses +1/+0. But attacks or blocks, remove a counter from it. Well, I don't feel like we're going to have a real hard time putting extra counters on these things. So we've got Clockwork Condor, Clockwork Vorak, Clockwork Dragon, because let's value some flyers, right? I mean, scale this best I could, folks. The ability here is, it's kind of mana intensive, but you know what? It produces a bunch of blockers. Ugin's Conjurate comes into play with +1/+1 counters. Elspeth, the Planeswalker deck Elspeth, it kind of fits here, Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures. Okay. Creatures that ultimate, flying and +X, where X is your devotion to white, probably pretty going to be significant. We have Silver Flame Ritual, just on your team, and it's going to be adamant, because that's all we have is white mana, right? They're going to gain vigilance to end of turn. The Phantom Flock, Bird Soldier Spirit, and that's like 3 decks this can go in. 4 counting this one, because anyway. Flying +1 counters. Slith Attendant, flying +1 counters. Soul Catcher. Creature with flying is put into a yard, it gets a 1/1 counter. And it has flying. Dragon Blood, I've got in there just for just sheer flavor. I mean, I don't know that we need it, but, flavor. Shinewind. Remove a counter, destroy an enchantment. This, I feel like, is going to earn its keep. Just simply because we have ways of putting, more counters on it. Edged Oracle doesn't seem like it really fits here. Sunburst in a monocolor deck. But we're banking there again on putting more counters on it. Pentavus. Making them Pentavites. Spin Crusher. Whenever it blocks, you put a counter on it and makes it unblockable. That could be sweet. Mindless Automaton. Drawing cards. That's what it's about. Our other card draw spell is Tower of Fortunes, because, if we're going to draw some cards, let's draw some cards. Now, for mana, of course, Gold Mirror, Seer's Lantern, Hedron Crawler, Walking Atlas. But let's look, this is our first look at Altar of the Pantheon. Now, this card it's good. I almost use the term amazing, but there are some instances where you don't want your god to be a creature. And we can kind of control that in game, as to what we play. Here, especially, we do have a higher concentration of most than artifact creatures. But there are times we want to have Heliod, or, any of our gods be a creature, and there are times we don't want to. So, but the ability to tap for a mana of any color, your devotion's increased by 1, and the conditional life gain this is not bad, especially in this particular deck, Oh, and it's mana of any color. That's beautiful. Now, going to give this Birth of Meletis a try, mainly because it's 2 mana, search your library for a plains, put it in your hand. That's a Sylvan Scrying. Now, granted, it's not any land, but it goes and gets a plains. I like it, gonna give it a chance, and we're gonna, run Power Conduit with it to try to get multiple uses out of it so that we can, reliably never miss a land drop. Energy Chamber's kind of close. It doesn't really work with that. It works with the all the 1/1 counter creatures, to where you can just move them back and forth. What about some actual... Oh, here's more 1/1 things. Obzon Battle Priest. Now they all have lifelink, which is amazing because then it works with everything else and we do the stuff and the junk. Dragon Scale General. Okay, we'll bolster X tapped creatures now. Angel of Vitality. Of course, gain life, gain that much +1 instead. Most of the time, she comes down as a 4/4 flyer. And might I say, amazing art. We have Daxos. Because, I did not have the rest of the Soul Siblings at the time that I built this one. I did by the time I got to actual Daxos himself. So by the time I get to Daxos decks, which will have the Soul Siblings in there. I say Soul Siblings because it used to be Soul Sisters, but now he's one of them. So Angel of Renewal. 1 life for all your dudes. Serene Steward. Gain life, pay 1, counter, Meadow Boon. Leaves play. We got the most important +1/+1 counters card there is. I'm sorry, it is. Cathar's Crusade is because this triggers on so many things. Y'all remember that Pentavus that comes into play and you remove the 1/1 counters to make a creature? A little Pentavite token? Yeah, right? So it just gets dumb because the counters equal creatures and the creatures equal counters, and yeah, I got to make sure to have a box full of dice when I play this one. Scale's Blessing, and then put a 1/1 counter on each creature that already had a counter on it. I love it. All that glitters, because let's face it, we have a lot of artifacts and enchantments in this particular deck. I'm going to run out of all that glitters before this set's over with. I promise you that, because, whoa. Brave the Elements, of course, going to keep us safe. Or, I love Brave because it's like aggro and defensive. So good. And True Conviction, because, who doesn't want double damage and double life. So let's look at some removal. I'm telling you, folks, Demystify. I love Demystify. It is good. Now, it's not Erase, but it is good. Erase is the card. Cons. I don't know exactly how far back Pioneer goes. Not my forte, but it seems like that this set is going to raise the value of Erase. I don't mean monetary, I mean the playability. We have Condemn, Immolating Glare. Ray of Dissolution's not bad because you gain life off of it too. Same as like Faith Fetters. Afterlife. Disenchant, another card. They gave us this in M20. I hope standard decks realize that Disenchant's a real card. Now, Heliod's Intervention. One thing that I want to do is with the 5 gods, the 5 monocolor gods, I want to make sure that their personal intervention is in there. Now, Heliod is the only one out of the original 5 that I have so far, because I pulled that as my pre-release promo. But I think I've got all the interventions because they're just rare. They're not mythic. But it's a good card. Ravnica at War, mono white. It seems like a free include, you know. There are times when this could be a dead card, but let's face it, most of the time, people love 2-3 color decks. And then Shatter the Sky. It's a 4-mana Wrath. I mean, they can put Shoot Yourself in the Foot on it, 4-mana Wrath, and I would play it probably. So, let's look at some non-basic lands. We have Rustic Clash, or however we are pronouncing that. We're not showing a Kithkin, but it's in there for the, if we draw the duplicate land, it's an extra 1/1 counter, right? Cryptic Caves, we're mono white, we'll take any land draw we can get. Field of Ruin, it's a great card. Forge of Heroes is going to put a counter on our commander, you know. And Cave of Temptation to put some more 1/1 counters on a creature. And that is it for Heliod. Super excited to be finally getting to the Theros Legends. Come on, Heliod. Get out of there. Oh, and are these lands not sick? Now, I don't have enough to do the whole deck in them, but I bought a couple of boxes and got those at the pre-release. Now, I did get at launch, already paid for it, prepaid the local LGS, but at launch, I'm going to get a box of the, what are they called? The theme boosters. It's got unique cards in it that'd be great for Commander, so that's why I got a box of those. But that is 529 Heliod done. So, I got kind of long-winded on that one, didn't I? 17 minutes. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.